Okay, so this is going to be part 2 about boobs. I'm going to kind of try to continue where I left off last time with the whole boob discussion. Sorry if I look like crap today. I've barely gotten any sleep. I was supposed to do a photo shoot this morning, and the model flaked, which is a common thing. But anyway, so back to boobs. I think what we were discussing before is, before my camera battery died last time, was the fact that, you know, for girls who have larger breasts, you know, going out in public, you know, can sometimes be kind of hard because of all the negative attention you get. And you know, it's frustrating. It really is frustrating. I had someone ask me on MySpace, well, as a guy who loves boobs, what should or shouldn't I say to a girl who has large breasts? I understand, no matter what size breasts a girl has, if she has a nice rack, I guess it could be kind of hard, not to say something, be like, oh my god, whatever, you have hot tits or whatever. But in my opinion, my honest opinion, if you see a girl that you find to be attractive, who has large boobs or just really nice breasts, really, honestly, it doesn't really give you a right to say anything to her, especially when it comes to her boobs. And my greatest advice for any guys out there who want to, maybe hook up with a girl who has larger breasts, my advice to you is initially, before you kind of really get to know the girl, my advice is to not say anything about her breasts. Because if you go up to a girl and the first thing you say, you can't look her in the eye, you're just looking down at her chest, we're gonna notice that, we're gonna be like, automatically in our heads we're gonna be like, oh, he's a skis ball, he's only looking at me for my tits. So, if you really are interested in a girl, talk to her, look her in the eye, talk to her, compliment her personality, her, intelligence, her humor, whatever it is. And if you can tell she's starting to get a little bit comfortable with you, if this is a girl you've just met, if after you've talked to her for a while, and you see she's starting to kind of relax, she's responding to, your comments, then maybe you can give her a compliment. But I wouldn't put all the focus on her breast. I would say something along the lines of, oh, you have a really great figure, you have a really attractive body, and then that's it. I wouldn't linger on her body. Because if you linger too much, she's going to start thinking, oh, he only is interested in my body. So, you can pay her a little compliment after, you think she's becoming relaxed with you, and then immediately just put the focus, back on, her as a person, get to know her. All girls want to feel like they're being respected, and I'm going to tell you right now, it can really throw a girl off when you just out of nowhere make a comment about her breasts or whatever. I've had guys, like I've been at work or whatever, at when I had my first job, I worked at Blockbuster. And Blockbuster, they have to wear those horrible uniforms. You can't see anything in them, but I remember I was checking out this guy and he was like, he did it very discreetly, but it still threw me off guard. He was like, oh, you have wonderful breasts. And I really just didn't know what to say. I was like, what? You know? It really just kind of threw me off. And he was like, oh, did I make you uncomfortable? And I was like, yeah, you kind of did. I mean, you know, it was kind of creepy because the guy was like really old, and I think I was like 16 or 17 at the time. So, you know, guys, you really should try to enforce some discipline when it comes to talking to girls who have nice racks. Trust me, you will get so much further if you respect a girl and, you know, treat her like a gentleman. I'm telling you, you'll get so much further than being crude. You know, I really don't know why guys are crude. You know, I mean, what does it prove? It's not like we're gonna, you know, it's not like chicks are gonna go for that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, you're only hurting yourself in the long run. So, guys, just play it cool. Try not to get too excited when you see a nice pair of tits. Try to keep it to yourself or between your friends. But, you know, don't start making comments that are loud enough where the chick can hear you. That's just not cool. That's not nice at all. You know, it's really rude. And as far as getting back to girls who have larger chests, you know, I know it can be a pain to deal with the people who are rude. Trust me, I deal with it on a daily basis. Either you can just learn to ignore it, or you can let it bother you, or, you know, there's been a couple of times where I've even had to stand up for myself, which doesn't happen often, but it does happen. It sucks, but that's really, I mean, I think really all I want to say about, you know, guys being rude. Really, you shouldn't be rude to us girls. You know, if you really want girls to get over their hang-ups and their issues about having large breasts, if you really want girls to get over it, then don't be crude and don't say rude things to girls you see on the street. Honestly, don't do it. Because, you know, there are some girls out there that are just so self-conscious about themselves that unfortunately, if, you know, you say something wrong to her, it could possibly just ruin her whole day. And then, you know, I don't know. I know girls that won't leave the house without completely covering anything up because they feel so self-conscious that you know, people are going to say something or think something about them. You know, so guys, you know, be cool, you know, don't be so rude, and I guarantee you'll see such a positive effect, you know. So that's all I want to say about that. All right.